Hi, this is Sweet June. How's everybody doing today? I'm doing pretty good. How's everybody getting through this pandemic, the quarantines, and all that? I hope everybody is staying safe and staying healthy. Um, quick update from Michigan. I think that, well, they extended the stay at home order to May 15th. It may get extended a little bit longer. Some states are starting to open back up. Um, some states are starting to open back up. Um, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if we're going to have a second round of people getting sick. But like I said in my other video, I don't think it's a good idea for states to do that. But in Michigan, she extended it. And a lot of people are upset with her for doing that. I think she's making the right decision because we have the third highest um, virus cases. I don't know why is so high, but we have the third largest, highest in the nation. So, considering we're leading in the deaths and everything like that. So, looking at the circumstances and considering how many cases we're getting here in Michigan, I think that she's making the right decision. So, um, how's everybody? And let me know in the comment section, how you're getting along. Is your state deciding to open things back up? The only thing I'm upset about is the court. The courthouse is closed. Um, the important. Now our post office is open, but the important business is still closed up. For the exception of the bank. So I don't know. If they um, probably should open up the important stuff. But still the same thing. Only takeout and delivery for restaurants and your stores, the essential stores. The non-essential stores are not open, but the essential stores are open. So let me know how you guys are getting through this pandemic. Let me know how you're getting through the quarantine. Um, my stress level has gotten lower. My anxiety, when this a few weeks ago, my anxiety level was like way up here. But of course, there was other factors involved in that as well. My anxiety level is getting lower, um, and I've been doing a lot of praying, and my stress level is coming down, so it's not as much as it was. Um, just try not to. The main thing is I don't watch a lot of news. I don't. I try to limit. I try to limit my. Um, I try to limit the amount of time that I spend watching it on the news. I think since I've been doing that, I haven't had as much anxiety. Let me know in the comment section if you guys are having some anxiety. You're dealing with stress, anxiety. You know, um, I mean, spiritually, if everybody, anybody that reads the Bible, and we all know that Bible prophecy is being fulfilled, and we get that, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to be affected by it. Just because you know what's going on doesn't mean that you're not going to be affected by it because we're all human. So, plus I'm an essential worker and I'm still working. My the level of my job has done a pretty good job at you know they're doing a pretty good job at taking precautions. They take our temperature at the door. The part where I work, is I work in assisted living slash AFC home. So the part where I work by myself with the residents. So I don't have, and then they're requiring us to wear masks at all times, with particularly when we're around each other. But I'm not really exposed to coworkers that much, so um, my exposure, my um, risk level is fairly low um, on the job, but it's still a little bit of concern there. So I just try to take precautions and be careful as far as the residents. they've been on quarantine for almost a couple of months now. So, I think it's safe to say that they're fine. But the main thing is just the co-workers. But, I wear my mask and everything. And um, but then there's some concerns about wearing the mask. If you guys have, um, I don't know, you guys are wearing your mask. I know I have been having some issues as a result of wearing the mask because it limits your oxygen intake. And I was reading something on Facebook. Somebody put on Facebook about um, getting headaches, and I noticed that I was getting some headaches, and it would be mainly when I came home from the store, and I was like, okay, why am I getting a headache? And that's because when you wear the mask, particularly if it has a filter in it, it's a cloth mask that has a filter, it limits your oxygen intake and to the brain, and so that can cause headaches. So just little, you know, just be careful. You don't really have to particularly wear the mask if you're outside. You don't have to wear it. When I'm in the house, I don't wear it. Some people wear it when they're driving. I don't understand why people are wearing the mask while they're driving, and it doesn't make sense to me. Once I'm in the car, I take it off, and at work, I wear it, but I make sure that when I'm not around anybody, I take it off so I can get adequate oxygen supply to my body. Because I don't know about you guys, I'm having a little bit of issues just associated with wearing a mask within itself, you know. So I just make sure that when I'm not around the residents or whatever or anybody else, I just, make sure kind of take it off, pull it down and breathe, make sure I'm getting air supply, to my brain and all that kind of stuff. So it's something to be mindful of, this, you don't have to, people been wearing the car, you don't have to wear the mask in the car, you don't have to wear it outside, you know, because I think if it was airborne like that, we all would have it. They say the only way that you can catch it, if you touch a surface, somebody has sneezed on the surface or coughed on the surface or touched their face and they sneezed and they coughed and they touched the surface and that the virus is on that surface, you touch it and then you touch your face, you can get it. Or if you're in direct contact with somebody that sneezes or coughs, those particles can get into your system, and that's how you can get it. But just walking around outside, you're not going to get it like that. Because if that being the case, then we all would have it, you know. So just something to think about, just some food for thought and something to think about when you're wearing a mask. Just wear them when it's mainly a necessity for you to wear it. I know a lot of stores are starting to ban people because they're requiring that people wear a mask, and if the people don't wear a mask, then they're not allowing them in the store. Um, I don't know if they have any stores like that in my city, but I know a lot of places, they're not letting people in if they don't have a mask on. So, um, then, so and it's a big thing now. A lot of people are making masks, and um, I ordered some additional mask online. Um, so I can't afford I wear the cloth ones, try to wear the cloth ones with a little filter in it because I can't afford to. I was going to order a box of the disposable ones, but I can't afford it, to keep buying the disposable masks. So I just wear the cloth ones that have a little filter in it, and I just wash them, So just let me know, hit me up in the comment section how you guys are getting along right now. It's a very difficult time, very stressful time. Um, in a sense, I kind of like the quarantine in a sense. The only thing I just wish I can go to the gym. But at the same time, I don't necessarily mind it as far as because I like being at home. But when I want to get out, I just go for a walk or whatever like that. I am ready to start going back to the gym because I don't get. I know that there's other ways that I can exercise, but um, when I go to the gym and I see all the equipment and stuff, then I get motivated. It's a little bit more, it's more of a challenge. I'm having more of a challenge with getting motivated here at home. You know, that's a challenge for me, and that's a struggle for me to get motivated here at home to either do exercises, because I got videos that I can exercise too off of YouTube. Yesterday, the other day before yesterday, I went for a good walk, but then the weather's so wishy-washy here in Michigan. It just goes back and forth. One day it's nice and warm, and the next day it's cold and rainy, and so that doesn't help me right there because I do like actually going out and going for a walk. But when I try to exercise here at home, it's a little bit. It's very, very. I'm be honest. It's very hard for me to get motivated here at home. So, because I'm either watching TV or you know um, just relaxing or maybe cleaning up the house or cooking and I'm doing other things or sleeping. So it's so easy to just get caught up in doing other things that you don't you know I don't know about. Let me know in the comment section if you guys how you guys if your gym is closed in your city, how are you getting your exercise? Are you working out at home? Are you going out for walks? Or hit me up in the comment section, let me know about that. So just let me know how you guys are getting along, period. But what I want to talk about is essential workers, essential workers versus non-essential workers. I know a lot of people, they've been having protests because they're ready to go back to work. People are ready to go back to work and they've been out here protesting. They've been protesting up here in Michigan. Like I said, they're upset about the governor's decision to extend the stay-at-home order. They've been parked out in front of her crib, been picking in front of the crib, and all that kind of stuff. Like now, we all know that there's the other race of people that are doing that, and they're allowing it. Now we know that uh, if it was melanated people out there, we know that come on, they put it to a screeching halt. So I'm just keeping 100. Um, but anyway, people been protesting and all this kind of stuff because they're ready to go back to work and everything. And it's this is a stressful time. Not one person in this country, in the world. This is a worldwide pandemic. It's not just in the United States. It's a worldwide pandemic. So it would be safe to say that everybody is being affected by this. It's not one person on the planet right now that's not being affected by this pandemic. This is affecting everybody. Everybody is being affected by this. And so um, it's very stressful because we all know that it costs money to live. We can't. It costs. I was telling my son a few days ago. It costs money to be born. It costs money to be born. It costs money to live, and it costs money to die. So either way, they got you coming and going. I mean, they getting you coming and going. You will. It costs money. It costs money to live, and we can't survive without money. We gotta pay for shelter, we gotta pay for food, and we gotta pay for utilities and clothing and everything we do, we gotta pay for it. So I mean, it costs money to live. So quite naturally, people are going to be ready to go back to work so they can start earning money. I was just reading an article the other day. Is that a lot of people? There's a flip side to that. I'll talk about the flip side in a minute. But I was reading an article the other day about there's people that are working in maybe smaller. They're working in the smaller businesses, the smaller restaurants and stuff like that. And the restaurants are still operating. They just have their dining rooms closed. They're still doing deliveries and takeout and stuff like that. They just have the dining room closed. So there's people that are working in those small businesses and restaurants that are still working. But the thing is, um, the people that are getting unemployment, that have managed to get unemployment, because it's very difficult for people to get onto the system. But once they get onto the system, then you can get an additional $600 on top of your what they on top of your regular unemployment amount that you get. And we all know that your regular unemployment amount that you get is based on a percentage of your salary. It's not your whole salary. It's based on a percentage of your salary. So you don't get what you would get when you're working, but you get that, and then you get the 600. Like say you get 250 a week on unemployment. Okay, when you get the $600 on top of that 250 a week. So a lot of people, I was reading an article where they were saying a lot of people that's working in those small businesses and stuff wanted their owners and their bosses to lay them off so they can get on unemployment because they're feeling like, well, I'm coming to work, putting myself at risk of getting this virus, but I'll be making more money sitting at home than working. So a lot of people are dealing with that situation. They're like, looking at the people that are receiving unemployment, like, well, the people are unemployment that are actually getting the unemployment are getting more money on unemployment. A lot of people are getting more money on unemployment than they were getting when they were working. And so that I was looking at that too, because my son, he's on it. And it took him a while to get on, but he finally got on. And I was talking about be kind of hating. I'm kind of getting a little jealous because I'll be like, you getting paid good money to sit at home, while I gotta still bust my butt to go to work. And when you're working, there is a chance that you could get the virus. There is I don't, whether it's in the healthcare industry or you working at fast food restaurants or in a store. I know that they did a report a couple of weeks ago, that a lot of people that were working in the grocery stores, um, some of those people were passing away that were working in the grocery stores because they're getting contact. So when you are a essential worker, there is you are at risk. Whether that risk is small, or whatever. If you're working with the general public, you're obviously at a higher risk. At my job, I'm not at a real high risk. Like I said, I'm not at a real high risk because I work, by the grace of God, where I work it's just me and the residents. So I'm not really in direct contact with my coworkers. I'm having very minimal contact with my coworkers. So it would be safe to say that where I'm working now is a minimal risk. But then you got people that's working in the stores. They work in the restaurants. Um, but the dining room is not open, but they're still having some contact. But it's mainly the people that's working in the grocery stores that are having contact with the general public, and sharing the same airspace as the general public. And those people are at a higher risk of getting the virus. And of course, our people that are on the front lines and working in the healthcare, like the nurses and the doctors. I say everybody that's working in the hospital, the nurses and the doctors, the cleaning staff, everybody that's working in the hospital environment, just being in that environment in itself puts you at a higher risk. And so that's the flip side, is that, and then the essential workers, it's like, I know I was marinating on this about 3 weeks ago. I was like, when I put something on Facebook about it, I wrote a little something on Facebook about it. I said, us essential workers, we caught between a rock and a hard place. I said, because, you know, I'm going to keep it 100. I done thought about quitting my job a few times. I mean, since this pandemic started, all this pandemic stuff started, I have seriously, I've kind of went back and forth. To be perfectly honest with you, I've went back and forth. I'm like, okay, I'm putting myself at risk of going to work, but then at the same time, I'm looking at the fact that I'm the only one in my house that's working right now. My other son is not eligible for unemployment because he was between jobs, and so I'm like, okay, well, I'm the only one in the house that's working. So that puts more pressure on me. And then I think, well, everybody know if you quit your job, you can't get unemployment. Now, somebody came when I put a comment on Facebook. Somebody came in and said they put some kind of provision in there that people, essential workers, if they feel like they're at a higher risk, they can quit their job and they can still collect. Well, I don't know about that because, what kind of my thought is, okay, well, what kind of red tape do you got to go through in order to get these unemployment benefits after you done quit your job. And then a lot of people are still having a hard time getting onto the system because the system is overlogged. So my thought is, if I did quit my job, and if this is true, I don't know. If this is true that you can quit your job at this time and then file unemployment, okay, well my question would be then how long would it take me to get on it? Right now I got a steady income coming in. I don't want to quit and then get on unemployment and then have to wait several weeks to get any money. That's no good. And so us essential workers are caught between a rock and a hard. It's a lot of red tape associated with unemployment. I didn't deal with them people before. It's too much red tape, and now it's even worse because the system is overlogged. So that's the flip side for us essential workers. It's like we're dealing with the situation. Okay, we're going to work. Um, we don't we're going to work because we don't have a choice. And we're not receiving hazard pay. My employer gave us a little something, but they're a small business. But um, for the most part, we're not receiving hazard pay. Um, and so most essential workers are working without the hazard pay. I know that in some of the stores, I know Aldi's gave their employees a $2 raise, during this time to work. You know, um, some of the other major corporations are doing it as well, but that's the flip side to in the people that are not working. They out there, the ones that are out there picketing. They want to go back to work, but then when they don't realize that when they do go back to work, they're going to be putting themselves at risk. They're going to be at risk of getting the virus when they do go back to work. I don't know whether they realize that or not, but when they do go back to work, they are going to be at risk of getting this virus because that's what us essential workers, we're dealing with. So it's a very difficult choice to make. It's like you have to choose. It's like you have to choose between. No, at the end of the day, we all know that our life is more important than money. You know, um, if I felt like I was at an extreme high risk, like I said, I don't feel like I'm at an extreme high risk, but if I felt like going to work every day, I was at an extreme high risk of getting this virus, then I would seriously think about quitting. You know, and just give it and pray and give it to God and step out on faith because and I think that's what it all boils down to. I think it all boils down to trusting God and very difficult for people to do. Um, it's some hard decisions either way. It's hard decisions either way. For some people, the unemployment hasn't kicked in yet, and then some people have been saying they haven't gotten their $1,200 stimulus. Some people saying they haven't gotten it. Um, I was just reading the other day. They said Puerto Rico. Everybody know Puerto Rico's a part of the United States, but they're saying that didn't ain't nobody in Puerto Rico got $1,200. So what they did they forget about the people in Puerto Rico? So, and a lot of people are saying that they haven't even gotten it yet. So, um, and I guess they said if you didn't file your taxes, they was going to send you a paper check, and it was going to be a while for the paper checks to get out. So, and even at the end of the day, let's be, let's keep it 100. 1,200. If you're not working, um, $1,200 is really not enough. Some people's rent and mortgage is higher than $1,200. So, I mean, it helps. And in comparison to what other countries are doing, somebody put a thing on Facebook and it listed what other countries were doing for their people in comparison to the United States. And they made United States look pretty bad. Canada is hooking their people up. You know, other countries they hooking their people up. Italy's been hooking their people up. You know, saying that they don't have to pay. They freeze their utilities. They freeze their mortgages. Plus they're giving them money. A good amount of money. So there's other countries that are hooking their people up. So the United States is looking kind of shabby in that area. And so, well, the United States is dealing with a lot of greed. I'm gonna keep it 100. The United States is dealing with a lot of greed. There's a lot of greed here. There's a lot of classism. There's a lot of classism here in the United States. And there's in the United States is a very this is a very very greedy country. You know, they're greedy. They're all about the money. You know, they care more about the rich people than they do the working class. If there's rich people and then there's working class, plain and simple. No, I mean, even if you're making $50,000 or higher, you're still if you're working and punching somebody's time clock, okay, well you're working class. So there's the rich people, the millionaires, and then there's the working class. And so this country don't seem to care too much about the working class, you know. So so it's affecting everybody. Essential workers have to deal with going to work, getting getting a possibility of getting exposed to this virus. But then they have to face a difficult situation. We have to face. I say we too because I'm an essential worker, and we have to face a difficult decision. Okay, going to work, getting ourselves at risk, and then we gotta, still take care because bills don't go away. The stuff don't go away, even though they've told the utility companies that they can't shut nobody off or whatever. Yeah, but then when everything starts to go back to normal, they're gonna stick it to you. So I'm still trying to pay my bills. I'm still trying to keep my utilities paid up because I'm not trying to be on them $500 when all this is said and done. And then I'm fighting to make negotiations with them to try to keep my stuff on because once this is all said and done, the shut off notices are gonna come again, and they're gonna be trying to cut you off because what I'm saying it's they're gonna stick it. Utility companies are gonna stick it to you. So I'm still trying to pay, my bills and everything like that. So it's highly recommended people still pay their utilities. So you just don't have that pressure on you. You don't have that pressure on you that if you don't pay this X amount of dollars, then you're gonna get cut off. You don't have that pressure. So that's good that pressure is gone. But it's best to still try to pay the best way you can, so that bill just won't keep adding up. You know. So that's the people out there picketing and stuff, fighting for the right to go back to work. They don't realize that once they do go back to work, they're going to be at high risk. You're going to be amongst your co-workers, particularly if you're working in a factory, these factories and stuff like that. They're working in the factory and they're working in close proximity to their close their co-workers. They can wear masks and stuff like that, but they're going to have to be really, really careful. And one of the meat processing, I think it was Smithfield meat processing plants. Most of their meat, Save a Lot sells a lot of their meat and stuff, their bacon and stuff like that. I think they had to shut it down because a lot of their people were getting sick. You know. So and then I read the other day that the people that working in the Tootsie Roll factory was getting sick, and I'm like, shut it down. We don't need Tootsie Rolls. I think it would be safe to say that we don't need Tootsie Rolls to survive. I think I can live without Tootsie Rolls. How about you guys? As I was reading that the other day, they said people that work in the Tootsie Roll factory were getting sick. I'm like, well, why didn't they just shut it down? You know? But it's because of greed. They're not shutting it down because of greed. We don't need Tootsie Rolls. That's a non-essential business. We don't need Tootsie Rolls to survive. Now, we need meat. Well, that's debatable here or there. Some people say we don't need meat, but meat is a good source of protein, and a lot of other food items we do need to live. You know, um, we need to survive. You know, so there's a lot of other food items that we need to survive. I think it'd be safe to say we don't need Tootsie Rolls to survive. I think I can live without a Tootsie Roll. I can go several months without eating a Tootsie Roll, and I'm cool. I'm good. I don't know about you guys. So, those non-essential businesses like that, they can shut them down. But it's because of greed that they keep them going. Like around here where I live in my city, we have what they call an industrial park where there's a lot of automotive. Michigan is a big automotive state, so they make a lot of automotive. Each factory does something different. Each factory produces some part of the car. And so they shut a lot of them places down because, okay, how many people going to be buying cars during the pandemic? Who going to be able to afford a car during the pandemic? You better drive what you got. Drive what you got. Unless you rich, and they already straight on their cars, So it's a difficult situation either way. Either way you slice it, the essential workers going to work, they're at risk of getting the virus, but then they're under pressure of having to continue to provide for their families, but then go to work being at risk of catching the virus. And then the people that are not working, the essential workers are a little jealous. I'm hating. I'm kind of hating a little bit because, like, wait a minute, y'all making more money on unemployment than I'm getting working now. So wait a minute, and I was reading in that article. A lot of people, a lot of the, like I said, a lot of the people that were working in the smaller businesses were like telling their bosses, like, you need to go ahead and lay me off because I'm gonna make more money on unemployment than I am working. And so it's like, I'm not gonna front. I've been back and forth over the past few weeks. I've been back and forth in my mind, like, okay, I should quit. No, I gotta pay bills. I gotta pay. It's like I'm going back and forth in my head. It's like it's hard. It's a difficult situation. And I'm gonna be perfect. I'm gonna keep it 100. I was thinking, okay, how can I get fired? Okay, how many of you thought to yourself, keep it 100 now, of how can I get fired? I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have thought about, okay, how can I get myself fired here? Because I'm kind of a stickler. I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to my work record. So, I mean, my job, I haven't missed any days of work. Uh, making sure that I dot my I's and cross my T's as far as my job and these people that I'm working for now are really picky. And so, yeah, I'm totally 100% on the job. And I'm like, before, like, the first 6 months of when I first started my job, this particular job here, because it's such a high turnover rate and they were firing a lot of people. And I was like, in the first 6 months, I was in panic mode. I'm like, oh, I don't want to get fired. But now it's like, so that's the flip side of that. I ain't worried about getting fired anymore. But then I think of ways like, okay, well, how can I get fired? If I get fired, then I get unemployment. But then be careful with that. Be careful about getting yourself fired because you have to be very strategic. Not that I'm trying to tell you guys how to get fired, but you have to be very strategic in how you do that. Because if you break the rules, if you break the rules, if something was clearly stated as a rule and you break that rule, you might not get it. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on why you got fired, because the employer can come back and fight that. People don't understand that. See, people, you know, who try to work the system and think they can get fired. It depends on why you got fired. If you got fired for breaking the rules, or if you got fired for stealing something or whatever like that, then you might not necessarily be able to collect unemployment. And then, of course, it would be unethical for me to. I don't steal, and it would be unethical for me to. And then that's when the what's ethical comes into play. It would be unethical for me to just purposely break a rule. It would be dishonest. As a Christian, I'd be okay. It's dishonest and unethical for me to just purposely break a rule that I know that's clearly a rule, just so I can get fired. So, and even if you're trying to get fired, like I said, you got to be very strategic in that because I said, well, yeah, I can miss one too many days of work, or just be late just one too many times. I just couldn't get it together. So I just be thinking, I don't know, I know that, tell the truth now. I know, have you guys thought about that? So I don't have it in me. I just keep plugging away. And they said that even if you do file for unemployment, it could be weeks before you even even get into the system. It's really overlogged up here in Michigan. So I'm not trying to make that suggestion. I'm not trying to suggest that you guys try to get fired. But I'm just telling you what I'm just being honest and letting you guys know what I have thought of. Those are some of the thoughts that's been going through my head over the past few weeks. You know, let's see, how can I get fired? But you know what? The flip side, my job, like I said, people like it was people that was getting it was literally people that was getting fired every week. I haven't heard not one over the last month. I have not heard not one person getting fired over the last month. I ain't heard nobody get fired over the last month. So they trying to hold on to the staff that they got, you know. And so and so what we had a couple people that quit, you know, and so it's either way. It's hard for the people that are not working. I just talked to a friend the other day that she was working in one of the factories, and she said she was working 7 days a week, 10 hours a day. I don't know how she was doing that. She's a few years younger than me, but I don't know how she was doing that one. But she said I was working 7 days a week, 10 hours a day. I personally couldn't do it, but that's how some of these factories work you. And she said that she's ready to go back to work. I said, girl, you better enjoy this time you got off. You better enjoy it. You know, she said, I'm just used to, she said, I'm not used to just sitting around like this. I said, girl, you better enjoy it. And I'll be thinking to myself, I'll be tickled. I said, I could think of the cleaning that I can get done if I was not working. If I was not working right now, I'm thinking about the cleaning that I can get done. Maybe I can get my walls. My walls need to be painted. You know, maybe I can get my, because Menards and Lowe's are still open in my city, And maybe I can go out here and grab some paint and paint my walls, get all my closets organized, get my basement organized. I could think about the work that I could get done around here if I wasn't working, you know. So I would enjoy it, you know, because I feel like I'm ready for a vacation, I'm ready for a vacation, and we don't get a lot of time off on my job. On my job, we don't get a lot of paid time off, They don't give us a lot of paid time off, so I don't get a lot of paid time off. I haven't over the past couple of years, I haven't been hardly getting any paid time off, you know. So I feel like I'm ready for a vacation. So I'm telling my oldest son, he's enjoying it. He's enjoying it. His unemployment kicked in. He's enjoying it. He's enjoying. I said, you like asking, you ready to go back to work? He's like, I don't care. He's enjoying the time off. So I'm gonna make him paint the house. I'm gonna make him paint the walls and organize the closets and clean the basement. I'm trying to make him do it. Him and my other son. I'm trying to make them do it. I'm trying to make both of them organize the closet, clean the basement. Y'all ain't working. Get around here and get some work done. Tighten up the yard. Springtime is getting warm out. I can get out here, maybe plant some flowers. I can think of so many things that I can do if I wasn't working right now. It's different when you're working because, when you're working, you be tired. There's only so much you can do. And even on your days off, yeah, I get the basics done. I get the basics around the house done. The basic cleaning, I get the basic cleaning done. But the more extensive cleaning, and like organizing the closets and things like that. Um, I managed to get my one in the room organized, but the other closets still got to work on them. So it's a little difficult when you're trying to work and do extensive cleaning like that. So, but let me know in the comment section if you guys are laid off. If you guys are laid off, if you're collecting your unemployment benefits, are you ready to go back to work, or are you enjoying your time off work? Are you upset because you can't go back to work? Or let me know. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you're dealing with right now. Or if you're like me and you're an essential worker, are you hating on the people that are off work right now? I'm not hating. I'm just playing. I'm not hating on the people, but I'm a little. I'm like, Wait a minute now. Y'all making more money on unemployment than, okay, y'all got it made. So like I said, a lot of essential workers are upset because they're like, okay, y'all getting paid a lot of money just to sit at home. Why we dealing with our regular pay. Okay, well let me know in the comment section what you guys, what's your situation. Are you an essential worker? Are you off work? If you're off work, are you ready to go back to work? How's your quarantining situation going? Hit me up. Let me know all that. Stay tuned. I got some more interesting video topics coming. Please hit that subscribe. Any new viewers, someone new that's watching this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I get a lot of people. Some videos I got good amount of hits on them, but okay, well how come that same amount of people that watched the video didn't hit the subscribe button? This is what I'm like getting. So you watch this video and you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Watch some of my other content. You might find that you might like it. So and the people that are already subscribed to me, continue to watch my videos. Need you guys to start watching more of my content. Hit that notification bell so every time I do a video, you will be notified. And make sure you hit the like button because that'll get. They said that they call it the algorithm. They said that gets the algorithm up when you hit the like button. The more people that hit the like button, then that shoots the video and gets the video more exposure, and in turn may get me more subscribers. So I need you guys to help me out. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Help a sister out. Okay, stay tuned. I got some more interesting video topics coming up. Make sure you stay safe and stay healthy. Remember to wash your hands for 20 seconds. Wash your hands for 20 seconds. Get them good and soapy. Like this. Get them good and soapy. Rub them. I like to get them good and soapy like that. Rub the soap all in and get them good and soapy. And then wash them. Run that under the water. Make sure you're washing them for 20 seconds straight. Okay. Stay tuned. Peace and love. This is Sweet.